All right. Hello. Testing. Just having some technical issues. Hopefully you can hear me. Let's see, Thursday, right? Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Busy Thursday morning it is for some, not for others. Hopefully your day is going good. They're watching SpaceX launch their Starship rocket earlier this morning. Successfully launched, but was unable to separate, and it just exploded. So they'll probably go at it again in another few months. I'm going to say somewhere in the 4 to 6 month period. And hopefully they can get things going. So I wanted to have this discussion. And I should have made a video out of it, but I don't know. Just wanted to go live with it instead. And you can share this with whoever you believe needs to hear this, right? But you ever go to work, you go into your office or your job, whatever it is you do, you're in a good mood, relatively speaking. And this morning, everybody wishes you didn't have to go to work, but it is what it is. You go to work, and okay, so even before that, and we're talking about, I guess, toxic people at work or a toxic work environment, or why are people miserable at work? And I notice it a lot whenever you go to, when you're out doing your daily chores, running your errands. You go to fast food to pick up a coffee or something, and the guy or girl there is not happy. You go to a department store, you go to the mall to get certain things you got to get, and the workers there are just not happy. You work in an office environment, and just that one person is just, for whatever reason, is in a bad mood, and now they have to come to work and show that they're in a bad mood, and sometimes even it can rub off on other employees, the coworkers, right? Oh, that's funny. That's actually what it sounds like sometimes. Okay, yeah, I'm not leaving that one. But that's what it can be like. So you get to work and you're feeling good, and then you got this person near you or nearby, and they're just giving you attitude. And they're not happy for whatever reason. Something's going on at home. I don't know. Whatever the case may be. Everybody's got issues. but not everybody comes to work pissed off. Some people actually go to work and feel more relieved instead of, being bound at home where there's an issue, or maybe there's something personal is going on and they're on the phone and they can get to work and just have to put all that away. But they don't. And they start giving attitude. And this is not only when that happens. This is like an everyday, daily occurrence, right? If it was a one-off event where somebody angry once in a while or letting something personal affect them, that's one thing. But there's some people who just come to work every day and they're just not fucking happy. They're not happy. And they don't care, or they don't realize that they're giving attitude to other people, good people that don't need to hear that crap. And it seems like more often they're not. They just they're not happy with themselves, and they don't like the job, right? So if you don't like your job, quit and go and find something you do want to do. Quit making other people's lives miserable, people that you work with, the public, people you deal with. Because when you got a frown, when you got a mug on your face that says, I don't like working here, I don't like the work I'm doing, well, that reflects to everybody. Everybody sees it. In turn, that could be a reflection on the company that you work for. Yeah, let me get rid of that one. I don't like that one either. So you need to be careful with how your attitude at work, because the actual place of employment might be great and people might love working there. But the face that you show to the public or the other new coworkers, perhaps, it's not good. You can cause people not to want to come to work just because of your attitude. And you don't want to work there. Go find something else that you like to do. Go get a job that you like. Find something more up your alley. Something's going to make you smile. There's no need to keep showing your coworkers this shitty attitude. I'm going to say it. That's the way it is. Everybody has their own issues, and they're not, being an a-hole to you, so you shouldn't be an a-hole to them. Other people are dealing with what they're going through. You're not the only one going through crap. Other people are too. Do something else. If you can't find another job, maybe you should go back to school, get some more training, and do something else. Another profession, another career, another trade. Something that you may like. You may not like an office setting, or you may not like a restaurant setting, or you may not like the medical field, the health field. So explore other options. And the other thing you can do is just resolve your issues. You got issues at home? Maybe deal with them and take care of them. Don't bring them out and project and blah, all over your employees, your fellow employees, your coworkers. Because like I said, they got their own crap going on. They don't want to hear any of this stuff. They're like, oh, I deal with this at home. Now I got to come to work and deal with this too. And if you need to vent, well, you find somebody, you got a friend or whatever. You say, you know what, can I call you? Can we talk, or take a 5-minute break, 10-minute break, and get it off your chest that way. But quit having a freaking attitude towards everybody. Hey, Lola. You see it and I see it. And I know, fast food jobs aren't the greatest. I understand that. But somebody's got to do it. And that was meant more for very young people, to join the workforce, right? But there are a lot of people there who just don't want to be there. They don't like their McJob or their Burger King job, or the happy people are at Chick-fil-A, believe it or not. Very happy. And this all goes back to, it does connect back to another topic, which is customer service, which here in South Texas is not the greatest. But then you go to certain companies, Chick-fil-A, everybody's smiling and they're usually happy. They don't have attitude. I think the company treats them well. They like what they do. Or they might not love what they do, but the company treats them well. People like Chick-fil-A and people like going there. A lot of times it's like, yeah, they're always smiling. They're always happy. And, that happened with my job where I was at with the airline. And it got to a point where, I loved what I did. I missed it. But I think I was walking away from my boss, my manager. There are people that are not, they may be good at managing things, but they're not good. They're not good people. People. Sounds funny. They're not a people person. You know what I'm saying? And I truly believe that saying that people don't leave jobs, people leave bad management. Totally believe that. Because that happened to me. That's exactly what happened to me. And for as much as I loved my job, I started to resent it. And it just came to a point where, I had a confrontation and it had to happen and I had a discussion and maybe this ain't for me anymore. And I had to walk away from it and I didn't want to, but good morning, Felicia. Lola says, in fairness, most people don't get any kind of manager training. Well, that's the other thing. Now you're talking about management. Not everybody is leadership material, all right? You can put a person in a management or a leadership position, or even an older person. Doesn't matter. But not everyone has the attitude and the wherewithal, and they don't know what it takes to, or they don't know what it means to lead a team, and direct people without sounding condescending and just talking to your people like regular people, not as minions that work under you. That has a lot to do with it also. Not everybody's made to be a manager or a supervisor for that matter. And that sometimes those attitudes that label can go to your head, and some people get, an attitude problem because now they feel power. They get a power trip. So that's not for everyone. And I think it says a lot about the companies that you work for. And I get it. Some people, they want to give them a chance, and you give them a chance. And if it just doesn't work, it doesn't work. But at some point, as leadership, as upper management, you have to keep an eye on things and see, well, this ain't working. That's not working. He's not working out. She's not working out. They're just not good with people. When I was general manager for United Airlines in South Dakota, my employees, I had 42 or 38, something like that, working underneath me. And they loved me. And they did. And I know that because they all told me. When I left, it was, where are you going to go? I'll go with you. I'll follow you. I'll go work for you anywhere. And it was very humbling. And I didn't see it at the time. But, after I left, that's when people open up to you and say, hey, man, you were like this and you were like that and you were understanding and you talked to me like we were, you were not a boss, but you were like a coworker. And The other thing that people like, I knew this already, but what people like, if you're a boss or an employer, business owner, people like being fed when you give them food. Whether it's, and somebody else I know knows this too. When you bring them donuts in the morning, you cook hot dogs for them in the one afternoon, I cook out, or hamburgers or whatever it is, or bring pizza in. Often keep them fed, and keep, bottled waters in the refrigerator or sodas so they can take without having to pay for them. Snacks all the time. And just do for them. They like that. They remember that. And they appreciate that. Sometimes they don't have the money to go out and grab lunch, or maybe they don't have the time. Maybe they're working hard on something that they don't want to go out and take a lunch. And I know it seems like a small thing, but people actually love that. And that's one of the things that they remember. And trying to resolve issues, trying to cut off any friction. I think the hardest part of my job was the different attitudes from people. Not everybody's the same, right? And having to resolve the conflicts between people, between two employees, some of that was hard. I mean, some of that could take a day and a half. Calling everybody into your office and trying to figure it out. And how does this start? And what's the problem? And just trying to mediate what's happening. But the point is, to get in there and figure out what's wrong and fix the problem. Don't just let it fester and let it boil over and don't do anything about it. Because that's what gets said about you as a manager, as a leader. Say, oh yeah, there's an issue, but they don't care. Nobody does anything about it. And that's the problem. And a lot of times upper management doesn't see the problem. They don't see that one employee who's got a freaking attitude. They don't see that. Yet that employee keeps giving everybody or someone attitude. And that one employee with the attitude will come and say, well, yeah, these people are, they don't know what they're doing, or she's not doing well, or he's not doing well. And upper management only sees one side, hears one side of the story. So, aside from being a snitch, and I know people don't like to be snitches or that kind of thing, and it's not about being a snitch. At least, I don't see it that way. I see it as, if you like what you're doing and you like the company you're working for, you're going to let someone else ruin your day or your wanting to come to work. So you're going to quit possibly because of somebody else. And that's not cool. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't let anyone else drive you out away from a job just because you don't like them. Whether you need the job or not, that's got nothing to do with it. You're there for some kind of reason, right? And you shouldn't let anybody drive you out like that. It gets to a point where you got to tell your boss that, you know what? I like what I'm doing, or maybe I don't, but I'm comfortable here right now. So-and-so, I don't know what I did, but so-and-so's got an issue. Every morning she comes in, she's angry. 3 days out of 5, she's always angry. And excuse me. God, I caught that. They come in 3 days out of the week, some kind of attitude, some kind of issue at home or a conflict. At first it was because I'm a new employee and I didn't do this or that properly or the way they wanted to, but I'm still learning. But there's just this attitude, and you know what? It's going to cause me to walk out of here. And I know you just hired me, but it's going to cause me to walk out. You got to have these conversations. Don't just quit. Certain people are causing you to not like your job. Then they should know. And that's the problem. Too many people just stay quiet and they don't say anything. And that person is going to continue being the same shitty person to the next employee that comes in. It's not going to stop. and you're doing good work. You think you're doing good work, and you like what you're doing, or maybe you don't, but you're there for some reason. Now you got to start over again. Yeah, let me go find something else or something different. It shouldn't be like that. So if you want to show this to whoever, if you know anybody like this or know people or somebody you can share it around, you know, you don't like what you do, go do something else. You know, there's no need to be miserable. Don't give a shitty attitude to other people that you work with. You know, people are having a nice day. Let them have their nice day. If you don't like what you're doing, then stay home or go do something else. Get a job you do like. I'm so sick of this freaking attitudes and bad customer service because people don't like what they're doing or where they work, or maybe they're just not happy with life at the moment or something. You know, there's deeper issues. Still, you're at work, you're representing a company, you're doing a job. Something has to happen. And employers need to watch this too. You need to pay more attention. It's not, you know, a lot of stuff happens that you don't even know about. I know, both as a leader, you know, I made it my job to go around, talk to everybody, make sure everything was good, or how do you like this, or how do you like that. Feedback was important. I think somebody who cares, that's important. You know, what you don't want to do is get an employee and go, hey, look, I need you to keep an eye on things and let me know what's going on. Because now you're creating like a snitch. And that's not good. Because now you're going to make them feel like they're entitled or they're, you know, with you. So you don't want to do that. Your job as a leader is to go out and find out what's going on. Talk to your employees. See what's on their mind. If you have to make any changes within the company, you know, maybe that's one way to start. You can have a team meeting, you know, a powwow, what do you call that? Like a town hall kind of a thing. But they're not always going to be, your people are not always going to be forthcoming because they don't want to speak certain things out loud. Because they don't want to be seen as a snitch or a tattletale or whatever. So, although I think you need to have those discussions and those meetings, I think it's important to walk around within your company and talk to your employees and let them know that you care what's going on. And if there's something wrong, yeah, let me know. Somebody's got to let me know what's going on so I could fix things. If something needs to be fixed. Big or small, doesn't matter the size of the company. If it's could be a nice company to work for. Just takes one bad seed to kind of ruin the whole picture and ruin your whole day and say, I don't want to mess with this. I'm just rather quit. So, many ways to different angles to look at this from the employee standpoint. You know, the guy with the girl, the guy with the shitty attitude. And then from the employer side, you know, management. What are you doing to make the culture at work healthier so people like coming to work? And some people are just a cancer, a gossip, a bad mood, like a black cloud, constantly. And those are the people you got to remove from the company, because that will start to affect others, and more will start to join together and be not happy. Instead of one person being the problem, you're going to have 3 or 4 now that are all against the company for whatever reason, for no reason. So you business owners, employers, managers, aside from counting your numbers and look at the orders and see what's going on, you have to look at the people side of things and see if everybody's happy, see if something is wrong, because that will also stifle production. When everybody's happy, production is good. The machine keeps rolling. It's a well-oiled machine. And, it is what it is. It takes a lot of work to keep that machine rolling, keep everybody happy, find out what the issues are. So, just sick of bad attitudes. I don't ever want to be like that. If it's a job I don't like, it's time to move on. Find something else that I like. You have to be realistic with yourself about that. Good morning, Juju. And the customer service thing, that's another topic I plan to hit at some point. Kind of along the same lines as what I'm talking about right now, but it's it is what it is. If you got a coworker with a bad attitude, just move to a different area or walk away. Or if you have to confront and say, "Yo, I got my own stuff going on. I don't need to hear any of that right now. It's too much." And you can't be afraid to do that either. And if you don't want to do that, go up to a supervisor and say, "I don't want to move, or I want to work somewhere else because this is what's happening." And that doesn't mean you're a snitch. It just means you're choosing to improve your life. You're choosing to improve your work life. Hey, Charlene. Good morning. I'm not a fan of just staying quiet and not doing anything and just quitting your job because of somebody else. That's not the answer. Especially when the majority of the people that you work with are good people. But that one person, just takes that one person to make the work life shitty. So that's pretty much all I got. I just wanted to pass that along and share this with whoever might need to hear it. Oh man, now you have me thinking. I was resolving people issues was a lot easier between men than it was between women. The issues between males or men, whatever. You could have a meeting, come into a room, close the door. What is it? What? And they'll talk it out, figure it out, and in a matter of a few minutes or whatever, it's over. It's done. And I'm just talking about my experience. The issues between females, those took days. It could take days. They could spend 3 hours at a time. 3 hours, which could be better spent, doing actual company things. And yes, is there cattiness between females? Yeah, of course there is. And of course, between men too, but I'm just saying with men, it's more. Well, the guys always wanted to work it out, fisticuffs. Let's go outside and figure it out. But, when you set your rules and you tell even the women, what, it's got to get resolved, or if it's not going to get resolved, then, something else is going to happen. But it's the issue between females that was always more difficult. Always. There's no way to sugarcoat that. It was always more difficult. And I don't understand why. You know what? You got an issue with somebody? Talk it out. Figure it out. Say, yo, what's going on? Every morning you come in, you're all pissed off. And then it makes me feel like maybe I did something or you're directing it towards me, I just want to know if there's something going on. You want to talk about something or whatever? But I just don't like this attitude, because I didn't do anything to you, so you shouldn't be giving me attitude. And start a conversation, see where it goes. That's what I said. It's not a confrontation. I know most people don't like a confrontation or don't want a confrontation. That's why they run to their supervisor or manager or whatever. But sometimes they'll sincere, hey, what's going on? 3 days in a row now, or 3 days this week, you were angry or whatever, and that's just not comfortable. Is there something going on, or you want to talk about something or whatever? And just, come off as a friend like that. Try it. And if they give you attitude, well, then you know what? Maybe go work in a different department or a different area, or whatever. Just don't. I know it's hard. It's a touchy thing. It's hard. Hi, Helen. Some just don't want to try. I know that they don't. And that's when, if they don't, that's when you have to make a move for yourself. All right. Let me talk to my manager so I can move to a different department. Sir, I want to move to different, or ma'am, I want to move to a different department. It's like, oh, why? You're doing so good there. Well, that's when you got to say it. Mary Jane or Joe Blow, whatever his name is, they always come in angry. And at first I thought it was against me. I did something wrong or whatever, but I'm new here. So, nobody should get mad at me. If I didn't do something right, they should just correct me and say, this is why. But he's always in a bad mood. It's just starting to rub off, and I don't want that. So if you can move me somewhere else. That's what has to happen. Remember, you have agreeable people and you have disagreeable people. When you're agreeable, you just let it go. Just let it go. So sometimes, a lot of times in life, it's good to be the disagreeable person. No, I'm not going to let that fly. I'm not going to let somebody mess with what I'm doing just because they're having a bad day or something, or a lot of bad days. You got to say something. You have to do something for yourself. And if management doesn't want to deal with it or doesn't care, well, then that shows more on their company, and maybe it is time to look for a different company to work for. Talking work, yep. Hey, Applejack. Yeah, some shitty attitudes at work that can kind of mess with good people's days, And sometimes these people with the shitty attitudes don't ever realize that they're making other people unhappy because they're only thinking about themselves, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So unless somebody points that out, they're never gonna know. They're gonna think whatever they think. Bad days reflect on them. They have issues, not you. Yeah. And they do. That's why if you're that person, you got to, you got to figure out your day or your morning before you get to work, so that you're not projecting onto everybody else. And if you don't know that, then somebody needs to tell you, hey, you come in here with a hot head, this ain't going to fly. Take care of what you're doing. Figure it out. You need an extra half hour, go make your phone calls or whatever. Hey, La Mera. Hello, I'm driving, and yep, very much agree. So, yeah, don't let somebody at work ruin your day. And it might not be ruin it as in, maybe you don't care. Maybe you don't need the job. So whatever that person is going through, it's like, I don't care I don't need this shit. So it's not that it's going to affect your life and you're going to be depressed because somebody at work was bothering you. No, it's just that you chose to do what you're doing for whatever reason. And you should be there at your work doing it peacefully and calmly, or whatever is going on with your job, so you can concentrate. You don't need the attitude, especially unless there's a conflict between you two. Then that's another story. Then that needs to be addressed as well. But I'll go back to management, that if they don't see this problem, or if they don't recognize it, or if they're not talking to their employees, and if they are spoken to, if an employee does come to them and say, hey, so-and-so's got an issue, and I'm sick of it, I think I'm just going to give my 2 weeks notice. And if they just agree, oh, sorry to hear that, well, that's fine. The last day will be. And that's not good either. They should figure out where the problem is and what the problem really is. That's what a good employer will do. And if he knows you're a good employee, he's going to want to keep you and get rid of the toxic people. And here we go back to toxicity. It's everywhere. But the point is to address it or make a change, whatever side you're on. Either address it or make a change. If you want to leave that person, be a shitty person, have a shitty attitude all day, even towards others when you leave, well, then it's time for you to change jobs and just go find somebody else and hope you don't find anybody toxic there. But if you keep walking away from that toxic situation at work, then that's not a way to handle it either. Especially, if you like what you do and it's something that you want to do for the time being, for whatever the reason. Applejack, it's really hard when you enjoy your job and you do your job well, but the other person is a freaking kiss ass. Super ridiculous. Yeah, I've seen that. When I was a manager, if they wanted to leave, I'd let them go, and I would tell them, if you're not in a good mood, then you don't need to be here. Yeah, that's exactly right. As an employee, I'd say, you know what? If you got issues, leave the issues at the door before you walk in here. Don't be infecting my other employees with a bad attitude. 8 people, 8 losers. So, you don't like what you do something else. In turn, you don't like what you watch, you're going to go watch something else. If that was directed at me, change the channel. Why do people do that? Very high school, middle school behavior from an almost 60-year-old. Right? That don't bother me. I don't care. I love my job, my coworkers, my supervisors, but the pay sucks at this point. I'm working toward my retirement. Yeah, and only you know what you're going through at whatever stage of life you're at. You may not need the job. You may not need it. You're working for whatever the reason that you decided to apply and work there. You don't want drama at a place you have to be, 9 hours a day, right? Or 10 hours, whatever it is. You should be able to do your job in peace. It tells them your personal life and problems, stay outside that door. That's how it has to be. And unless you can control your emotions and your attitude. Some people can't. And we see that all over, not just here in South Texas. We see it all over the place. There are more jobs out there. Sometimes those people may be blessings in disguise to move on and do better. This is true too. It's like either, fix your situation before you get to work, or I can help you find another job. And if it gets to that point, that's what you have. That's what we call a come to Jesus meeting. It's like, all right, we've had this discussion before. What are you going to do? What are we going to do right now? We're not going to have this discussion again after today. Either take care of yourself at home, leave it at home, or leave it at the front door here, or, I can help you find another job. And it takes a good manager, leader to recognize these things. But not everybody recognizes all that. The older someone is, the more experience they've been through, they can see things more than a young person. That's not to say that a younger person cannot be a good leader, because I believe they can be. But I think life experiences, do add to a more desirable management, Look out of here. Don't put up with crap. Don't put up with crap. Yeah, that's the theme. Don't put up with crap. Don't put up with crap. Do something about things. I'm talking about jobs, your work where you work. And if you really don't like going to work or don't like being there, it's time to look for something else. Find something that will make you happy. Or at least that doesn't ruin your day. But you shouldn't be changing and going through looking for other employment just because of one person. I think that one person needs to know what the issue is. Even if you do walk away from the job, let that one person know what the hell's going on. That's what should happen. I think it's wrong when people just leave their jobs because of one person, and that one person, not that they care, but nobody ever told them, right? Nobody ever told them off. So that person just keeps on being an a-hole everywhere she goes or he goes. So anyway, that was my rant for this morning, Thursday morning. Hope everybody's having a good day. Those at work, keep on trucking on. And tonight I've got candidate for city commission, Ernesto Lopez, at 7 o'clock. And then at 9 p.m., I've got candidate for mayor, Jennifer Stanton. This is all for the city of Brownsville down here in the Rio Grande Valley, South Texas. So if you're interested in that, please let those know, or please share those links that are out there already. Hope everyone has a good rest of the day, and we'll see you later. Have a good one, everybody.